So a lot of people ask, what does WHSL even stand for? So WHSL stands for Wholesale, Surplus, and Liquidation. The WHSL Market is our annual conference that we host in Louisville, Kentucky. It's a two-day conference, April 21st and 22nd, 2026 for this year, filled with education, networking, meeting new buyers or new sellers, depending on what you're looking for, and just an overall good time. WHSL Market this year will be April 21st and 22nd in 2026, the calendar year 2026. So April 21st, 22nd, 2026 in Louisville, Kentucky. The cool thing about Louisville is it's more centrally located for the East Coast and Midwest. It's not a far drive for almost all of the Midwest or the East Coast, so it helps keep expenses down. Louisville is not a super expensive place, so hotel rooms are relatively reasonable. Just a good place. They have a good nightlife, and it's just a good, fun place for us to host a conference. We picked a city for WHSL Market that was easy to access if you drove, but also it has an airport. So for people that do need to fly in, man, the airport is about 15 minutes from the conference center. We host the event at the International Kentucky Conference Center, which is right in downtown, right on the river. Beautiful location. But this year will be April 21st, 22nd, 2026. Plenty of parking. People always want to know, hey, how do I park if I drive? Well, number one, if you're going to stay in a hotel, you might just leave your car there. There's plenty of hotels within walking distance. And so if you leave your car at the hotel, then no need for any further parking. However, there are parking garages literally right across the street from the convention center, and they utilize those parking garages. So parking is a non-issue, pretty simple. All you got to do is show up. So people ask us a lot of times about hotels. At this point, because the conference is new, we have not gone and gotten a block of rooms at any specific hotel. We will one day, but we want to make sure we understand the size of our conference before we want to make that commitment, because if people didn't take the rooms, I'd be on the hook. However, there are a lot of hotels around the downtown area, well within walking distance of the conference center. If you are wondering, hey, what's some good hotels? You can reach out to us at support@whslmarket.com, and we do have a list of some that are all right within that area that we can send you, and then you can take your pick. WHSL Market, we've structured it as a two-day conference, mainly because we want people to have the time to carry on good conversations. Some of the other trade shows out there, they're great, nothing negative about them, but the exhibitors are getting bombarded. They might have 10 people walk up to them while you're trying to talk to them, and they don't want to be rude to those other people, but they really can't focus on you. And so with WHSL, it is a smaller, more intimate type setting. There's a whole networking area where you can go sit down with tables and chairs, recharge your phones, carry on conversations. We have the educational piece and the exhibitor piece. And what we've tried to do is create not only an agenda that promotes the education and networking, but also giving enough time to where, hey, if you go by this exhibitor and they're busy, you probably will have enough time to check back and find a time when maybe they're not so busy. And you can really talk about your business, what you're looking for. They can talk about what they have to offer and how there might be some synergies. And that is really what we're trying to promote with WHSL Market, is those more intimate, getting to know people type conversations. So again, if that interests you or you feel like you don't have another venue for that, our conference is April 21st and 22nd in Louisville, Kentucky at the International Kentucky Convention Center, right in downtown Louisville. So one of the cornerstones of WHSL Market is the education. People ask me, hey, is there going to be anybody speaking, or is there like PDFs, or what is there as far as education? We generate an agenda that tries to focus on the various business models that are popular within our liquidation industry. First and foremost, we want to have a representation of all those main business models so that new and medium type liquidators that are entering the market, that attend the conference, have an opportunity to learn about the different business models. Number one, to maybe pick the business models that work for them, or number two, if they've already made that selection, so that they can learn a little bit more. We do try also to be varied with our speakers. We don't want every speaker to be a 20-year veteran. Some people might say, well, why not? Well, because although those people have a lot of knowledge, and we definitely want some of those, some of that knowledge is not going to be applicable to the person starting out. That person starting out might be wondering, hey, what point of sale should I use? Or is there a specific type of product that works well with this? The 20-year veteran, although they have great knowledge, may not be able to answer those questions because they're too far removed from that period of time. So we do also have some speakers that are a little bit more, they've proven successful, but they're a little earlier on in their liquidation journey, so that they can answer those questions, and that all of our attendees, no matter what position they are in the industry or how long they've been in, they can find somebody that hopefully can help give them some insight on the questions that are plaguing them right now. So the education, yeah, we're going to have speakers. Some speakers may speak for 45 minutes. Others may speak for 20 minutes. We might have individual speakers, or we might have panels. We've traditionally had panels that focus on a specific topic or business model with 3 experts that all they do is answer questions from the attendees. So there's a lot of education going on stage. And that doesn't even count the education that people get when they're talking to exhibitors or just networking amongst themselves. You cannot discount that networking and the education that comes out of it. So from a perspective of education, yes, that is a foundation of WHSL Market. I've only spoken about the conference right now, but outside of the conference, realize our mission is to provide that education year round. So on our website, WHSLmarket.com, we do have an EDU hub. And on that EDU hub, a lot of our exhibitors and sponsors are super gracious with their time and their knowledge, and they're helping us build out assets, educational assets, that you can tune in and learn from any part of the year, not just at the conference. So education is a cornerstone of WHSL Market. Again, our conference is on April 21st and 22nd in Louisville, Kentucky. However, that doesn't mean you can't go to our website at any time. Again, that's WHSLmarket.com. So when it comes to the education at WHSL Market, people want to know, hey, I love the idea of education, but give me a little bit more direction on the topics that you might be talking about. And so first and foremost, we're going to highlight the major business models that are in the industry. So whether it be a bin store, a discount liquidation, an online auction, or any of the other types of business models, we're going to talk a lot about that. But then outside of that, there's some hot topics. So we've had speakers on social media marketing, and people love that. We've had speakers on live selling. You know, live selling has become a really big deal through some various platforms that are out there, whether it be Whatnot or TikTok or whatever. And so we've had speakers on that. AI and artificial intelligence and how to utilize that may find itself as a topic on our agenda. We've had attorneys come that focus on helping new people starting a business and dotting all the I's and crossing the T's, making sure that they get all the licenses they're supposed to have and doing all the business setup that they need to do. We've had those as speakers. We've had the industry veterans that just talk about the overall landscape of the liquidation space and the retail space in general. You know, there's hot topics right now, such as tariffs or increased freight cost, or some of these other things that are going on, and just the economy in general. There's going to be a skew of that in some of the talks. So we really try to get a wide-ranging topic list of what people can tune into. We're not looking for someone to sit there for every single topic. If that's the case, then hey, that's great that you found value in it all. But we also understand that we're going to have a wide-ranging enough value that some topics may not speak to one person, but they're going to speak to someone else. And we really try to emphasize that. But in all of the educational topics that we do think about, we try to keep our core focus on the small to medium-sized liquidator to make sure that we're answering the questions that are relevant to them. Now, if we happen to miss some sort of topic that they think is really important, we also always try to have some sort of panels or speakers where it's just a straight Q&A, where if we have missed the mark on a certain topic that our attendees think, hey, we should have hit that, then they have the opportunity to just do some questions and answers of some industry experts to try to get the information that they do feel like they need. On top of that, we have a couple sponsors. WHSL does a a state of the industry report every year where we survey a bunch of sellers and buyers in the liquidation space to try to understand, hey, what is actually going on in the industry? You know, a lot of new people, if they have a down week where they don't sell a lot, or a down month or a down quarter, they don't know, is it just me? Am I doing something wrong? Do I need to market better? Do I need to change up how my store is? Does my business model, am I not executing it properly? Well, when you're new and you're kind of on an island and you don't have access to any type of information like that, it becomes really hard to be able to make business decisions. So not only has WHSL tried to take an attempt with our State of the Industry report that we unveil at the conference every year, but also we have some other sponsors and exhibitors that get that information that we're actually looking to partner with some of them this year on the state of the industry so that it gives you a really clear understanding of where the industry is and where it's probably about to go. So again, if any of that interests you, April 21st, 22nd in Louisville, Kentucky, we'll be hosting the WHSL Market, which again is a free conference. You don't have to pay a dime. All you have to do is get there. Hopefully we'll see you there. When people ask, hey, who are some of the exhibitors that I can expect to see? In the past, I can talk about that. We have had Whatnot has had a booth. Liquidity Services has had a booth. B-Stock has had a booth. We've had contract holders such as Excess for Less or Merchandise Liquidators. We've had Riverbend Wholesale, who focuses more on single SKU, all brand new, where you get a lot of the same item for like retail type stores. We've had freight companies show up for helping people move their loads, and they've gotten booths. We've had insurance companies show up and gotten booths. It's a plethora of companies that are getting booths, and what I've tried to do is demonstrate a wide range of big players, smaller players, and everyone in between. People watching my videos may think, man, I want to be an exhibitor. How do I get a booth? And I can understand that excitement. I really can, because we have your core demographic walking around, and a lot of them, and they're ready to talk and ready to find people that they can trust. So if you're looking to be an exhibitor, there's really two main ways that you can do that. First, you could send an email to support@WHSLmarket.com. And what we would do is we would send that inquiry over to our head of sponsors and exhibitors, Damian Pullock, and he would get right back with you and be able to answer any questions you have, show us the sponsorship packages. Now, if you know Damian, you can just reach right out to him. You don't have to go through the support email, but either way works. I know Damian's extremely active on Facebook, LinkedIn, and some other social media. So again, if you know him, just reach straight out to him. But if you don't, send us an email at support@WHSLmarket.com and we'll get you linked up. So I have exhibitors asking me regularly, what kind of value can I expect to get out of WHSL Market? You know, it's a new conference. Like, what am I supposed to expect here? And so I asked a few exhibitors and speakers after last year's conference what kind of results they got. And so I'll speak about one in particular. The feedback was the same pretty much across all of them, but one in particular was not even an exhibitor. They were just a speaker. And they called me 3 weeks after and they said, Matt, you are so undercharging for your exhibitor booths, it's not even funny. I said, what do you mean? Why do you say that? They said in 3 weeks that they alone had generated $140,000 in business of what they bought, of what they sold to people that they met at the conference, and then turned around and had purchased over $80,000 with people that they met at the conference that they would have never done business with outside of that. That's in 3 weeks. Actually, it might have been 2 weeks. Either way, it was really soon after the conference. And they were like, Matt, the value that we got both from a buy side and a sell side was undeniably worth it. And they weren't even an exhibitor. The exhibitors I spoke to got even more. So I would tell you, if you are interested in being an exhibitor, the value is certainly there. And I would push you to another video that we're gonna film and post, which is more about the FAQs of being an exhibitor, kind of the steps you want to take to get prepared to make sure you're positioned well enough when the conference starts to get the most out of the event. So again, that's April 21st, 22nd, 2026 in Louisville, Kentucky at the International Kentucky Convention Center. Beautiful location. It's a free conference for attendees to attend. And then exhibitors, we can go over our sponsorship and exhibitor packages. All you got to do is reach out to us at support@WHSLmarket.com. Hey guys, thank you so much for taking the time and watching about WHSL Market. We're doing our best to answer all of your questions. If we've maybe missed one, don't hesitate to reach out to us at our email, support@WHSLmarket.com. or go to our website, WHSLmarket.com. We have a whole EDU hub with education, but also we have a frequently asked questions that'll answer not only about WHSL conference, but also just about WHSL in general. We are here to support you, and we really appreciate your time. Exhibitors, if you're interested, we certainly want you to get the information you need. So again, reach out to the support email, support@WHSLmarket.com, so that we can get you in touch with our sponsor and exhibitor person that handles that. Attendees, again, it is a free conference. There is absolutely no reason to attend. We're in Louisville, Kentucky, which is central to the Midwest and East Coast. Most people can drive and it won't take that much time. But if you need to fly, we do have an airport that is in Louisville. It is a beautiful location. If you're wondering, am I going to get the value? Yes, you will. We've heard it resoundingly the last 2 years from both exhibitors and attendees that, man, this is the best conference in the liquidation space for education, for networking, and just all around getting to make good, valuable connections. So if you're wondering, should I attend? Yes. Don't even ask the question anymore. Yes, you should be there. It's April 21st and 22nd in Louisville, Kentucky at the International Kentucky Convention Center. If you have any other questions, please reach out to us at support@WHSLmarket.com. And I look forward to seeing you there.